Hi, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. I am SBell. For those of you who don't know me, I am the founder and owner of SBell Wellness, and I share all about natural solutions and how we can just live a lifestyle of better health, well cared by using those things. I'm also a integrative nutrition health coach, and so I really love to build that piece in as well. So I thought we could start out tonight with just a little bit of a breathing activity. We're going to talk a lot about things that are going to help kind of cleanse our body with products tonight. But I thought taking some cleansing breaths would be a really good way to just get ourselves centered and thinking about ourselves and taking care of ourselves. So if you guys can sit comfortably, if you're in a good place to, just have your feet planted on the earth, you can close your eyes or soften your gaze, whatever you feel comfortable with. And just begin to notice how your body feels. You can inhale deeply into your belly, through your nose if you can. You'll bring the air deeply into the lower lobes of your lungs. And as you do this, your belly will rise. And on your out breath, you'll notice that your belly will sink back into your spine. I invite you to be aware of your ribs. Experience your rib cage expanding and contracting with each deep breath. And on your next inhale, count to 5. Hold for a moment, and then exhale to the count of 5. And I just invite you to do this for a few more breath cycles, whatever that means for you. Take one more cleansing breath. And before we bring our attention back to our shared space, just take a moment to notice how your mind feels, hopefully a little more clear, a little more refreshed, a little more present in your own strength and your own power, which we all need for wellness. Whenever you feel ready, you can bring your attention back to our space. I hope that felt good for you guys. I encourage you to set an alarm on your phone or put a note on your mirror or at your desk or in your car, wherever you need that, so that we just get into the habit of breathing on purpose throughout our day. It can really be a great reset for our emotional and our physical health. So I love sharing breathing on purpose. I hope that was good for you guys. All right, so we have some new people here with us tonight. So I'm going to briefly just mention a little bit about why we even talk about doTERRA and how amazing that is. And there's 3 cool things about essential oils when we're talking about doTERRA, and those are that they're 100% natural and safe. There's no side effects, there's no addictions. They're extracts right from the plants. doTERRA is so amazing that they go all over the world to get these plants where they grow the best, optimal conditions. And so that's what sets it apart. doTERRA has created the certified pure therapeutic grade. And so they are absolutely making sure, there's over like 84 tests that are done on these oils to make sure that they're absolutely pure. And that's really important because a lot of the oils on the market, all the oils on the market are actually not regulated. And so little secret that I found out when I did lots of research into this is that they can actually only have 1% purity in the bottle and still label it as 100% pure. And so you guys, that's just misinformation to us as consumers, and it makes it really scary to know, are we really putting something on our body that is pure and going to give us that therapeutic benefit we're looking for. And so that's what drove me to learn more about doTERRA and why When I talk about essential oils, I am talking about doTERRA exclusively. The second cool thing about them is that they are oftentimes more effective than modern approaches to healthcare. We can actually address probably about 80% of what's going on with our wellness at home with natural solutions. And one of the really cool reasons for that is that essential oils are able to permeate the cell membrane. So they can actually get to our brain in 22 seconds. They get to our bloodstream in 2 minutes. And in 20 minutes, they've gotten to every cell in our body. So you guys, that's just an amazing impact that they can have on us, especially if we're using something like doTERRA that's so pure. And then thirdly, they are oftentimes more affordable than traditional medical care, right? We've got lots of copays, we've got lots of, medicines that we might get over the counter or, prescription, and sometimes those medicines have their place. But I think, having that integrative approach, we're going to be able to use essential oils at pennies per dose and really start to save a lot of money. And so that's really what we're going to talk about tonight, is kind of some safe swaps. And so I'll talk a little bit about essential oils, but all the products that I'm talking about tonight have essential oils in them. But first, before I dig into that, I just want to tell you why it became important in my life. I think stories are really important, and so I want to make sure that people kind of understand why we would want to think about safe swaps in the first place. So I'll give you a short abbreviated version of the story, but I actually suffered from migraines since I was 5 years old, and went to doctors, saw doctors, listened in. Most of the answers I got were, it's just something that women deal with. It's your hormones, it's your period, it's your emotions, you're nervous, you're sensitive. Just those are the kind of answers I got, and pretty much, here's a pill. And so, I went through that for my life until I got out of grad school and I was at work one day. And if you have ever dealt with a migraine, just being at work was actually a miracle in and of itself. But that day I went to pump the soap and I completely missed. And I was like, what just happened? Like, I thought I, was pumping the soap. And then I was like, gosh, that's really weird. I just must really be out of it. And then a few minutes later, I went to turn the pages of an assessment tool that I was using with a student, and I couldn't turn the pages. And so something was not okay, right? And I had had enough neuro classes in my OT school that I knew something was not okay, and I needed to figure that out. But I felt very alone and frustrated because I was trying to figure it out. I was a problem solver and was trying to figure it out for so many years and wasn't getting those answers. And so I really started to dig in, and I found some integrative medical professionals that really helped guide that process, really helped to look into the foundation. And I learned that I had to really be okay with a lot of habit changes. I had to disengage from autopilot shopping. I had to change the mindset around what cleaning things I was using, what personal care items I was using. And at the root of it, of course, was nutrition and those kind of things. And I have classes about that too, but tonight we're going to really hone in on what I had to do and what I encourage people to think about when we are thinking about these things that we're putting in and on our body. So if you think about it, think about, what are you lathering on your skin? What are you using on your hair? What are you plugging into the wall? What are you spraying on your counters? What are you scrubbing your toilets with? All of these things, you guys, really, we have to look at the labels. We have to see what's in there. And so we're going to talk about two categories tonight: household products and personal care products. And I want to encourage you, this is not an all or nothing. It's tiny steps along the way, okay? So I'm 12 years into my journey, right? And continuing to learn these things. And so I want everyone to feel comfortable knowing that it's baby steps. It's, oh my gosh, I'm out of, this product. Is there something else that I could swap it out with now that I'm ready to replace? And so that's a mindset that I want to encourage you. And I want to be a guide. I want to help you navigate this. I want to help you live this out. And so reading labels, you guys, reading labels are so important. We don't realize how much is in there. I had talked a little bit earlier about regulations or lack thereof. And it's really disheartening to know that even what's on the label is not always telling us what's in there, because there just aren't enough. The average woman is using 9 products a day. There's over 126 ingredients in there. Fragrance, chemicals. You guys, we're coating our largest organ of our body, our skin, with these things. And so I started using things like apps that can be helpful to kind of look at the products, because when you read them, you're like, I don't even know what these things are, right? Can't pronounce them, that sort of thing. So there's apps like the EWG, the Environmental Working Group, Healthy Living. You can kind of plug in some products and look at that. There's a Think Dirty app. You can look at that. Start to plug in some of your products and see what's in them. And so I started doing that, and I started understanding what was in them, and I started realizing that swaps were needed. And doTERRA came into my life along the way, thank goodness. And so doTERRA has all these wonderful products that we can really swap out. One of the first products that I swapped out was my toothpaste. Along the way of figuring out what was wrong, there were some thyroid issues I was dealing with. Well, fluoride, you guys, has a really negative impact on our thyroid health. And so fluoride is often marketed to be important for the enamel in our teeth, but it's not good for our body to be absorbing that. And so I had been using some other natural toothpaste before I had started with doTERRA, and then when I started with doTERRA, it was a good time to swap when I needed a new one. And On Guard toothpaste. So On Guard toothpaste has doTERRA's On Guard essential oil in there. And so it's going to have cinnamon and wild orange. It's going to have peppermint. And eucalyptus. It sounds a little bit like that's going to be very spicy. It's really not. It's actually pretty mild. When it comes to cinnamon, you're not going to get that like big red or red hot cinnamon flavor from it. But it's going to have myrrh in there, which is actually incredibly important for the health of our gums. And you guys, my dental checkups haven't been any better than, or they actually have been so better, sorry, than they ever were before with using On Guard. And so this toothpaste has been a great swap. And I've heard stories about people who might be prone to like mouth sores. The On Guard toothpaste has really been helpful for that. Oftentimes those mouth sores are coming from the foaming agent that's put in toothpaste that's on the market. That sodium lauryl sulfate, that SLS, you guys, that's something that we want to make sure that we're not having in our products. And so that is something that you have to get a little bit used to when you switch over to a natural product, is that it's not going to give that same foaming that you might have been used to. But again, I talked about like how we just have to be mindful of a little bit of a habit swap, and we'll be able to be okay with that. And the ingredients in this toothpaste are really naturally going to strengthen that enamel and even be able to help reverse some gum damage, which is what we're looking for in a toothpaste, but what we don't need those chemicals to be doing for us. And then there's also an On Guard mouthwash. I didn't bring it in here, but the On Guard mouthwash is really great too, because you guys, the biggest thing in mouthwash is the artificial coloring and flavoring. We really don't need those things in our body. And so being able to swap that out is a really good option. And it doesn't have preservatives in there. You guys, you won't believe this. Some of the preservatives that are in mouthwash are formaldehyde. Like, it's just incredibly insane that those things would be allowed to be marketed for us to just put on our body and be okay. So the natural enzymes, the plant enzymes in the mouthwash are going to go to bat to really be able to get that, bad bacteria out that we are looking to. Next up, my switch was deodorant. So you guys, I don't know if you have, or anyone you know has been impacted by breast health issues, but it's so important for us to be conscientious of this. Aluminum you guys, is not good. And aluminum is in a lot of conventional deodorants. And they can put that in there because they can say it's such a minute amount that it passes standards. However, you guys, we're talking about something that we put on our body every single day. So this accumulative exposure is really the problem. And antiperspirants, you guys, the thing about antiperspirants is they were designed to stop the sweating. Okay, it's because it's kind of embarrassing to be sweating, right? And so we've become like self-conscious about this, but it's actually our body's natural way of flushing out our toxins. And these antiperspirants are actually clogging up our pores, which means the aluminum is staying in our body, and our body is really struggling to get it out, and it's not getting it all out, and it's depositing it into our body, and it's storing it there. And this is where, over time, this accumulates and causes these illnesses that we really want to be avoiding. And so deodorant part of it is designed to kill bacteria, right? It's to cover up the smell. doTERRA, you guys, they really have formulated this a few times to really get it right. They have, this is the balanced one. There's a couple different ones. This has arrowroot powder, baking soda, shea butter, jojoba butter, beeswax in there. And then the really cool thing, if anybody's tried natural deodorant and you notice that sometimes we have sensitivity to baking soda when it's directly on our skin, there's a gentle formula. And so the gentle formula has Douglas fir and Greek orange in there. It's a really gentle smell. It's really nice, and it doesn't have baking soda in there. So if you know that about yourself, there's a gentle option for you. So swapping that out is really good. Now, I talked about how our body's trying to detox from that, right? And so when we switch over to natural deodorant, you are going to have a little bit of a time where you're like, I'm not sure if this is working. And I want to tell you a way to speed that up, is that here's a hack. This is the doTERRA mud mask. You can use the mud mask on your armpits 1 to 2 times a week, and it's going to just help the body be able to get those toxins out. And so then you'll start to notice that your deodorant is actually doing what you're expecting it to do, because you're allowed the body to kind of work through that process. Just a little fun hack that I like to add in when we talk about deodorant. So next up, you know, at the beginning I talked about like, what are we putting on our hair? You know, our hair is so important for our health in many ways. And so you guys, our scalp, like it's right there with our brain, our eyes, our mouth, everything is right here. Such proximity when we're kind of thinking health overall. And so the labels on shampoo and conditioner, oh my gosh, they do not disclose enough information about what's in there. It's not always easy to see ingredients. And so we really want to make sure that we're kind of digging into that. Fragrance is one of the biggest red flags, you guys, when you're looking at products. They don't have to disclose where it comes from. It's artificial. It's made in a lab. There's over 300 ingredients that can be labeled as fragrance. And the reason why is because, again, like I mentioned, that little bit is what they're saying that they can get away with. But I don't know about you guys, but if someone just said, hey, here's a little bit of poison, go ahead and take it every day, we're not going to say yes to that, right? And so that's what's happening with these products, you guys. They're getting into our bloodstream. They're hazardous for our overall health long term. And so doTERRA Protecting Shampoo is awesome. A little bit goes a long way. There's shampoo and conditioner. It's great for color-treated hair, heat-treated hair. It's safe for the whole family. And so this is a really awesome swap for making sure that you have healthy hair and that we're not exposing ourselves to all of those yucky chemicals that can be in there. There's also a gentle version for babies. We have like a body and hair wash for babies that you can also take a peek at if that's important to you. And then skincare, you guys. Skincare is so important. You know, we are really trying to figure out, as women, of course, like, oh my gosh, all the things we need for our skin. And of course, we really want to look at that from the inside out as a nutrition coach, I want to make sure I say that piece for sure, but we also are looking at our skin from the outside. doTERRA has 3 different skincare lines. It really is just to allow you to kind of see what sort of things you're looking for. So the Virage system is really just kind of a system that really supports just overall skincare. We have our Essential Care line, which is the one that I really love. And so I brought the cleanser in here. The hydrating cream is awesome. And so this is the Essential line. And then there is, for anyone who might have acne prone skin, there's an HD Clear line as well. So you guys, that's when we can say like enough is enough, and we don't want that little bit of poison into our personal care. And little by little, you can make those swaps. Like I said, it's just one thing at a time, and you just kind of notice like, hey, I'm starting to run out of this product. What could I swap it out for? And that's how we kind of build along the way. And before you know it, you're able to swap off. doTERRA has an amazing loyalty program that you can be a part of and earn points and those kind of things, and it becomes a cost savings. I recently, not just because I wasn't going in a store, but before that, realized that I wasn't going to the store and spending a bunch of money on things that I wasn't actually there for when I was going to buy my shampoo and my lotion and whatever. And it's like, oh, but this is cute and I'll take this too. And, you know, and then I realized like, oh my gosh, I'm saving this money because these products are coming right to me. So let's switch over and talk a little bit about household products. You guys, having a clean house does not mean that we have to have chemicals to do it. There are easy swaps that we can make. They can be very freeing. Before I even started with doTERRA, I started making my own cleaning products, using baking soda, using Castile soap, using vinegar. It's just incredible how powerful those simple ingredients can be if we just kind of trust the process and figure it out. I have lots of DIY recipes over on SBellWellness.com. I have a DIY section. I'm always adding new recipes in there. You can check some of those out. But doTERRA showed up big time with the doTERRA On Guard Cleaning Concentrate. This concentrate, you guys, is very concentrated. A little bit goes a long way. So this, you know, I only buy a couple bottles of this a year. It lasts so well. You're making all-purpose sprays with it. It only takes 2 tablespoons for every 24 ounces of water. So it's very concentrated. You're just using a tiny little bit. You can use your all-purpose spray for your counters, you know, surface, whatever it is that you're needing to clean up. I use it in my mop bucket. It's just been really awesome for swapping out. And there's other recipes on the side of it here too. You can actually use it as a dish detergent, and other tough jobs that you need to get done in the bathroom. I mentioned earlier about using baking soda and Castile soap. I kind of swap out for the On Guard Cleaner Concentrate sometimes, but that's how I clean my toilets, you guys. We have a toilet in our home. I like to share the story that just had some weird water stains on it, and forever we thought that we just had to use bleach to get rid of them. Until I started learning more, and I was like, I don't want this in our house anymore. What else can I do? And crazy that the baking soda and the Castile soap or the On Guard Concentrate, some lemon oil, and we don't have that problem anymore. And so it's just incredibly empowering to know that we can clean our house with those simple ingredients and not have to worry about it. And if you have little kids at home, you know, you think about like having to lock up these things and they've got all these poison, you know, called poison control if this happens or whatever. We don't have to worry about that with these things. I mean, is it going to taste bad if they get it? Yeah, we don't want them to sit there and drink it, but we're not going to have to worry about the harm that it's going to cause. So that's one thing it's super important, you guys, because the thing about bleach, you guys, is that you really got to put brakes on. You really got to have a strong consideration with this, because it really is impacting our eye health, our lung health, our respiratory care. We really need to be mindful of that because we're trying to stay well while cleaning, and the products could actually be impacting that. So We want to make sure we're being mindful of that. The really cool thing about the On Guard cleaning products, you guys, if you go on the doTERRA website, you can check out the science blog. Look at the research. It's so amazing, the research they've done on Guard in the lab. It's really going to bat. It's really doing the things that we want it to do. One of those things, you guys, is that we want it to really cleanse if we're talking like hand wash, right? So lots of hand washes talk about how they're antibacterial. A lot of the things that are in what they're using to make them antibacterial are known toxins. Yeah, they're killing the bacteria, but they're carcinogens. Triclosan, also known as microban, those are insecticides. So those are really causing harm to our body. They're still in some products. There have been some things that they're trying to ban some of that, but it's still out there, you guys. So we really need to be mindful of that. Foaming hand wash. doTERRA has the On Guard foaming hand wash. I make my own foaming hand wash at home. It's so incredibly simple. You're just going to use the On Guard oil, Castile soap, and a little bit of fractionated coconut oil just for moisturizing. Fill it up with water. You guys, such an incredible swap. It's so easy. It's so much more affordable, less waste because I'm using the same container over and over again. And so that exact recipe is over on the website, over in the DIY section that I mentioned if you need the exact recipe for that. But it's going to help to wipe out all that bad bacteria we're looking to wipe out, but not the good bacteria. You guys, it's really important to keep the good bacteria in our body. We need that healthy bacteria to help us crowd out these things that weaken our immune system. It's really incredibly important for our immune system to stay well, for us to make those decisions. And if we're using some of these commercial products that have these things in there that are also killing the good bacteria, and we think that we're doing something to keep ourselves well, we're actually putting ourselves in harm's way because we're weakening our immune system. You guys, I used to burn all the candles and I had all these wall plugins. And I will say there are some candles out there that are okay. There's some soy candles and how they're made, and that's important to kind of make that statement out there. But wall plugins, no, you guys, like those things are so toxic. Artificial fragrance, there's so many things in there that are false estrogens, which is incredibly harmful to our body, our hormones. It's wreaking havoc. And so what we can do instead is we can diffuse essential oils. So diffusing essential oils, you can have a little diffuser and you just put a little water in there. You can put your essential oils in there, plug it in. This really, one has a 2-hour, 5-hour, and 10-hour option. So doTERRA has lots of those that you can take a peek at. But diffusing the oils doesn't only add this wonderful smell to the environment. It helps to boost our mood. It helps to boost our energy. It's really cleansing for the air. It's really a win all the way around. And so I always encourage people to have a couple diffusers in your home. You can, put them around in different rooms. Some of my favorite things to use them for, sleep. We love to use Breathe blend with doTERRA. It's our respiratory blend. We love to combine it with Serenity, which is our restful blend. So we use that one to really set the environment at night, to really help us rest, open up those airways when we're reclined. Love, right now, one of my favorites is combining peppermint, On Guard, and lemon. You guys, this one is just so good for our immune system. It really helps to open up our airways. The lemon is so cleansing for the air and our body. And so this is just a really good one to have in mind, especially with things that we're kind of worried about right now. And then I love spearmint. I love adding citrus in with spearmint. Spearmint and tangerine is a really amazing combo. Love doing that. Adaptive is our calming blend. I love to use that one to diffuse. It really helps to just settle all the noise that's going on around us for all the things that are happening in our world. And so that's just a really another good favorite one. So you guys, instead of exposing your family to toxins, I encourage you to say yes to reading labels. Start there, read the labels, talk about it, ask questions, and then you'll start to slowly see that you can choose some natural solutions that are really going to help you. And if you don't have your own wellness account yet, you're going to want to get one because you can save 25% on doTERRA products by doing that. If you already have one and you're ready to try more products, I definitely say let's dig into the loyalty rewards program. You can earn points, get rewarded for those easy swaps, and start to really save money that way. But just remember, it's a constant evolving process. It's one tiny step at a time. You just pick a few nuggets and you go for it. And so you guys, it's so effective and you're gonna feel so much better for it. It's so amazing, you guys. Migraines are history. They are medical history for me. I don't have to deal with that the way that I did my entire life before I knew about this. And so many other health things that came along with that or were even at the root of that have been able to really have a lot of relief by using natural solutions. And so I really feel like I have to show up and share that because it's really important for other people to know that. So they are very effective and they work very well. And you guys, no single drop of water thinks it's responsible for the flood. And so it really does matter. Every little step that we can take for our health does matter. And so I just encourage you to take those little steps. And you're gonna feel so much joy for being able to live a healthy lifestyle. So I'm here for you. I love to support you and be your guide on the side. If you are watching this recording, you can find all of my contact information over on sbellwellness.com. I'd love to send you a sample so that you can just experience it for yourself. And then be able to help guide you with that. So don't hesitate to reach out, and I hope that you'll catch another class sometime soon. Take care.